All right, everyone. Thank you for coming. This is Arpexi, and this is my blind no death attempt at Ender Magnolia. It is pre-recorded. I want to become a Twitch streamer maybe, but I was a little bit nervous, to be honest, and I don't know if I could do it or not. And also the company that was running my facial mapping software for the avatar that I'm using stopped. They went out of business, so I have to find a new way to do that. So this is previous footage. Everything is transparent as possible, and it is everything is connected here as I played through the game the first time. Yeah, it's completely blind. I haven't seen anything about the game at this point when I'm playing through it. I have no idea what's coming ahead, and I haven't even seen anything like a trailer or anything like that. So everything is just my plain reactions. I will try to give some tips here about going through the game. And this time I'll be going through some of the forest and also the underwater sections of the game and see if I can clear some sections of the map here. And recently I just got the ability to dash underwater. Well, not exactly dash, but how can I say it? It's to break things underwater. So I could access a few new areas here, and we're gonna see where I go on this run. I'm getting pretty close to the end of the game. I figure in a few different things. Give it a few more videos here, and I'll be at the end fairly soon. Reasonably soon. I think I'm more than halfway at this point. What I just did was I used the lightweight gear, which you can purchase at the shop, I believe, to gain a lot extra vertical distance on my jump, and that helped me to get to where I needed to go. So this is my first encounter with these guys, actually, and so I knew how to dodge it there. I'm running around breaking parts. And then there I just noticed how dangerous these things can really be. But I ran around, I broke the parts to get some scrap for my relic upgrades. So the water is a great way to do this because the steering is very responsive. So at this point I'm thinking, wow, I better be really careful with these guys because I'm losing my heals. So Frost Confidential Records, from Purifier to Tuner. Purifier is a device that would be built by implanting artificially made priestess into a culture tube. Okay. I know I read pretty fast during my playthrough, so I didn't think I could actually catch up to that. But essentially, I know some of the lore of the game, and I think the House Frost, one of the rich houses in the game lore, they made priestesses, I think using the blood of priestesses from Ender Lilies, which is in the past, I think, or using the blood from the ancients. And by blood, I think like they married into it and got that through descendants. But there's actually a good lore video on this that's out there. I was thinking of making my own, and I'm still in the process of watching that lore video. So one thing about this game is you can teleport back at any time to sort of save your skin. I think this is the only time I did it in the game, because I realized that it was unstable fighting all of those things. So, and I think I know there's the water damage relic, which that really is good for this area. It's a 20%, right? So this is quite good because they know it's limited use. So I'll put that on here and go back. And actually at this point, I do go back to the shop and I upgrade some materials and I buy a new thing. I buy the Ilion, which is a totem, and it gives you 2 more extra cards for healing, so you can heal 5 times then. That I really recommend for the later game, maybe around this point, because it helps you travel a lot in like blighted waters and blighted areas. So it negates a lot of that, and it lets you go a lot farther too if you need to swim somewhere, because you can heal while you're trying to get there. And then I also upgrade the water relic to, it actually gives you 30% after you upgrade it. So that was a really smart thing to do before going in this area up ahead here. I will leave a timestamp, and it's about maybe 2.5 more minutes that I go through and do those things. So if you want to skip ahead, you can skip through, or you can use the timestamp if you want. Okay, some of you guys may have noticed a small time jump there between the clip. That actually is because of the limitations of my PS5. Some of you may know that the PS5 only records up to 1 hour at a time. So I had to remind myself to save the video, and I overshot by a little bit. Since then, I actually use OBS to record my videos now. But I had actually, this was the first time that I recorded any gameplay for myself. You'll just have to take my word for it that I did not die during that time. It was just basic or exploration of these areas. The amount of enemies I killed, you can kind of tell because it was about one level, 52 to 53, at about the same position between the clips. And you can see now, like when I started this section, this clip, I actually had about 25% left to go on the meter there, and it's already almost at level 54. So the areas and the enemies in this game, in this area, they actually like level you up pretty quickly. So you'll see, wow, each enemy I kill, like how much it jumps up by. So this is a pretty good area to level at this point in the game. If you need to level up purposefully for some reason. But yeah, in any case, I'm pretty much well suited for this area now too. So much safer than before because I have those relics now with the 5 heals and the extra damage 30%. So. Okay, there we go. So Milius Residence Records, elite records of the members of House Milius, the Smiths. And I think the person you're supposed to take it to is actually the smith that is at the beginning of the game. So yeah, I think that's where you have to go with it. And I forget what the reward is, but you always want to take these things that NPCs give you and exchange them as soon as possible. Because there we go, like level 54 already, by the way. So but yeah, that is, you want to exchange them because they usually give you like pretty powerful things. As you can see, yeah, that's a thing to do. So that punch is always really good. And it's really easy to break things in this area. And yeah, try to go after these guys. They will do that steam attack very often, so you can kind of bait them into it. But you just don't want to let them trap you against somewhere. So, and of course you can always do that. Just shoot them from a distance. right, this section here, we get this, the girl here. She's actually like pretty decent. Her tuner art is to heal you quite a lot. So if you have trouble, you want to play more defensively, this is really a good way to go because she can heal you based on SP. Okay, so this is another autonomous ability. So it benefits from the autonomous increased damage relic. And it is actually, like, it rightfully so has more DPS than the owls because it is limited based on how close you are to Lorna. So I'm gonna stop calling her the girl in the wheelchair anymore because I saw that cutscene. I remembered her name. So yeah, it is. It is. You have to be close to her. You have to like set her, post her in different places, and if you go too far or you break line of sight, the ability doesn't work anymore. So if you're facing an enemy who moves quite a lot, then you have to keep on setting her from place to place. Improve stats. Yeah, I think so. This is probably a level up for me in terms of bracelets, but we'll see. But yeah, you have to place her in different places, and but she can be pretty good if you can do that well. So it requires an extra button press. But by the time I'm in New Game Plus, and when I did the what can I say? When I did the boss rush, that's what I'm thinking of. When I did the the boss rush speed run. I actually used her in the boss rush speed run, and my time against the first boss, Lido, I think it is the fastest on the internet. So I have the other video. It's in my videos here if you care to watch it for some reason. I also have the boss rush in that, and I think based on the speedrun.com times, I am maybe it's like number, I don't know, I think I'm in the top 10 for it though, but I didn't bother to upload it. But I have that posted along with the time in my videos on my account here. But yeah, I think Lido, I'm gonna check his time, hold on. Okay, so yeah, it was 5.87 seconds, so that's pretty fast. So she can be like, the point is she can be pretty good if you can position her around pretty well. But if you don't want to have to deal with it, then the owls are quite good. And I use them for the rest of this playthrough too. So as you can see, I uploaded the gun there. That's just increased break damage, increased firing rate, and increased damage. So it's just an all-around better version of it. So that's quite good. And we look through Lorna's abilities here, and yeah, she has some pretty cool abilities actually. Like they're not bad. And she will go. It's not just in front of you laterally. It is. You can throw her diagonally or straight up. So she has like a lot of usefulness to her. So yeah, one of the better abilities in the game. But just upgrade the Seeker here. So we get an increase in power and projectiles and break damage, and the final version is 3 projectiles. So essentially, I guess I've doubled the damage plus, because so that was a good upgrade too. Some lore conversation here. So yeah, Lady Abelia, so she was trying to revive House Frost, I think, and in the cutscene there earlier, she was talking about it's like using the human souls in like a pact with a tuner. So like if people have like lost their souls somehow, like they can be put into other things. I believe that's talking about, but I don't know. The lore is pretty difficult to understand, like, because it's just scattered everywhere, but I'm gonna watch the video on it, and I'll bring that to my commentary in the future. So yeah, this section here, obviously you are supposed to, new grimoire. It's always good news. So you're supposed to jump over it like a fish. So that you can break something over here. It's hidden up here. Or maybe it's not. think I was supposed to break. Yeah, that's a little bit strange. Like, so yeah, if you like move correctly, you don't have to jump through all those things. So I guess they didn't think a lot of people would do that. So now I will go back to the respite here, and we're going to give the record to the Smith guy here, and we'll see what he has to say here. I have a lot of scrap here, so at this point, you may not want to throw it into other things right away, because you may want to save scrap to upgrade in New Game Plus if you're going to do that, to upgrade the best things. So yeah, that's what the record did. So I made that little speech there about how you should always turn these things in, and then it turns out to be just a small like cutscene in a mantle. But, oh well. Well, the other ones. Okay, I forgot. The other ones you have to send them all in, turn them all in, you guys. So so we just got a mantle. That's it. So. Now here we're looking at the HP differences and the defense. Again, we just trade like a little bit of attack here for that. So it's not too much actually. And yeah, these things here, the enhancement gear. Usually you don't need to use these abilities in a hurry, and they don't do too much damage. So these things are like, running into people with like the wolf and like and the squid thing underwater to break parts, and so it's not like that big of a damage anyway, and you don't usually need to use them in a hurry. So that's kind of like it's not that good of a totem. But yeah, look at these bangles, and wow, there we go. A big increase on the Aster bangle on the left side. That's a no-brainer purchase. So yeah, pick those two up. And think about a magic vial. I just cashed out from a grimoire there, so it might not be a bad idea to buy an extra vial now, because another grimoire might not come up for a little while. So let's see what I do here. But it's, they give you the mantle, and when I played through the game, I thought like, oh gee, like these mantles, they should give you something like an extra boost if you equip certain ones. But now I think it's a good idea they didn't, because then you can kind of play freely how you want to play with, and choose the colors you want to choose. So, and I think that's why, like in Helldivers originally, like the with the helmets and things like that, well, the capes, they don't give you any extra boosts or things like that. So, but anyway, we'll go through here, and maybe we want to upgrade something, but I don't think there's anything good to upgrade at this point. I actually noodle around here for like at least the next 5 minutes, optimizing my build and upgrading some relics, which I shouldn't have for some of them, because we got New Game Plus where you can upgrade them again. So I will leave a timestamp here for the correct time if you want to skip ahead past all of this menu stuff. All right, so I actually warped here because I'm going to use the keys to get into the land of origin. I think that's what it is anyway. And we will, it's one of the more blighted areas of the game, but it's not too bad. The other thing is, in that cutscene previously with the smith, he talked about like being, maybe being embarrassed, I guess, that he's from like House Milius. So apparently what happened was like Enderleys is like a different kingdom, and it is, in that game, it was, I'm not sure if, I think it was in the past, but I'm not sure how much longer ago. But yeah, it was more about knights and things like that. And people started to like use the magic, and they used the priestesses, and then they kind of became weapons, I think. But then they were invaded by a different land, and the priestesses and the ancients, they were called, they lost in the end. And so then they started to, I think they started to use, the people who conquered them started to use the magic, like maybe like selfishly or like incorrectly. And then like what happened was the blight started to come and pollute everything. After that happened, then this area for Ender Magnolia, the two kingdoms there found out about the magic as well. And there were two royal houses, Frost and Milius, who decided to do something and use the magic. Well, House Frost went down to study it and like live in the forest and things like that. So they weren't like basically like destructive really or anything. But the House Milius, though, they were more like exploiting it, and they started to build homunculi to work, and then they started to build homunculi to like go down and mine some of the magicite. And so in those homunculi that did that, it was like worse than a death sentence, because that's all that they did was like just mine there or whatever. So anyway, because they started to use it like incorrectly like that, then the blight came to this area as well. And House Frost found out that by gaining the bloodline, I think, of the priestesses, that they could be attuners. So people of House Frost ended up being the attuners in the game, which is basically the same thing like what the priestess were doing in Ender Lilies. So yeah, so it's a little bit like kind of the same concept, but it's a little bit different with like the houses and everything, the two houses and the homunculi and things like that. And so Milius, Declan was one of the brothers of the king, I think, of House Milius, and so obviously he wasn't, too kind in his experiments and things like that. But yeah, that's kind of the story, is like what I understand it. And then Lilac here, the main character, I'm not sure, but I think she was born maybe, and she became like an attuner from the beginning of the game. So, and there we go, Origin Gem Core, very, very nice find. As you know, it's the final material needed to upgrade like a lot of the abilities, so yeah, good. And there we go, we upgraded the Seeker all the way, so now 3 projectiles, much better than it was. And yeah, it's quite useful thing, so upgrading as soon as possible. And what am I doing now? It looks like I'm going to fight a boss maybe or something. I'm not sure. Right here, so open room here. Yeah, we have like kind of a boss up ahead here in this area. And this boss, like, it kind of hits hard, but I think it's just, you just have to keep on moving from it. And yeah, 'cause it will, yeah, it attacks like where you are. So the trick is just to watch it and keep on moving around. There we go. In the future, there are some of these like butterfly things, I'll call them. But there's like a huge one that looks like a manta ray, and it's kind of like a boss. Well, he respawns, and that is one of the best ways to use, like, to level up in the game and get XP, is to just farm that guy. All right, so here we have another Primordial Beast, and yeah, like I said, he does hit pretty hard. And yeah, the trick is to keep on moving. right, yeah. So we saw the blighted prophecy there, and that is from we, the land of people from the land of origin. Well, that's the ancients, they call them, and so yeah, they were kind of wiped out by the people who took over the area in Ender Lilies, I think, and so then they put the blight curse on everyone. And so they're talking about now is like returning as the blight in Ender Magnolia, I believe. Okay, here I go back to the respite and I level up some of my things. So I'll put the timestamp again if you want to go forward. So I optimized myself for exploring and resource gathering again. And I'm going to go through this part I believe I'm going to be fighting the robot soon. Which one of the robots is pretty easy, but the other one is really hard actually. So we'll see how I do against him this time. I forget if I died against him or not. I don't even remember, but I know that when I was doing the boss rush, he was pretty difficult actually to not get hit by. I think he's maybe the most difficult boss in the game. So just following the rule here, jumping as far and as high as I can into this area. And what do we got here? It's a new relic. Yeah, break damage to enemies by 20%. So you can actually equip this one and the other one, I believe, for increased, very fast to break damage. But this one, the can, is actually better than the other one. I forget why. Either it's a higher percentage or it is less slots that you have to use. I forget which reason, but the can, I'm not even sure if that's what it said. I call it the can. So the green can thing, it's better than the pendant. Yeah, so it was 15 and 20%. So the can is 5% better. It's just a little bit more slots. But if you have the slots, then you might as well switch to the can if you only want one break damage relic. And yeah, I just do some more optimizing here. I'll see you on the next video. I'm going to stop here and then I'll do a voiceover on the next one here. So thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And we got just a few more videos, not too much longer, and we'll be finishing the game.